This is where consistent players can get even more out of being an advantage player. In this video, we'll discuss some of the specific advantages of machines that I personally like the most, and we'll talk about how you can get rewarded just for playing, win or lose. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2 of this video series, please go back, watch those two to understand how all of this stuff works and how you can be the best advantage player and have the most success being an advantage player. This is part 3 of a 3-part series. Also, if you enjoy this video and the others, don't forget to subscribe so you can take advantage of all the videos that I put out on how to win at all sorts of slot machines and how to be a smarter slot player. Hey everybody, welcome to the Slot Doc. Today, we're talking about slot machines. Let's go. So first, by far, the best thing that you can do if you're going to start doing any kind of slot machine play or any kind of casino play, but especially if you think you're going to try and be a successful advantage player, is to sign up for rewards. Every casino, every slot cafe, every gaming company has a rewards program that will pay you just for showing up, pay you for playing, pay you just for walking in the door. So make sure you sign up for these rewards. Use your card, check in on the app, check in on the screen at the front desk, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you do this every place you go. If you're going to be going and doing these things regularly, you will get way more back than the time it takes to check into these machines and use your player's card. Casinos will tend to reward you with comped hotel rooms, drinks, free food, things like that. Slot cafes, most of the slot cafes around my area anyway, have free food when you're playing, free non-alcoholic drinks, and very inexpensive alcoholic drinks if you are into that. And then even the bars have, the manufacturers and or the bar, they have an app that you check in. The big casinos, hotels, cruise lines, they're all giving away money. They all want you to play the slot machine. Because why? As we learned in the first video, they're guaranteed to win. The more people that come and play the machines, the more money they're guaranteed to win. 5% of 10,000 is less than 5% of a million. So if they get $1 million put through the machine, they get 5% of $1 million, right? So they just want people to come and play. The more people playing, the more money they make. So to get you to come back and play, they give you free food, they give you free drinks, they give you free hotel rooms, they give you free cruises, all sorts of crazy stuff, so that you will come back and put more money into the machine. They will even give you free play because they just want you to put more money in the machine. They expect you to put the $200 free play in, blow through that, and then put another $200 of your own money in. The more money that goes in, the more money they make. The more spins that happen, the more money they make. That's all that matters. And then at the gaming companies or the kiosks or the bars, it's the same thing. They make a percentage of all the money that goes in to the machine, all the coin in. So that's not just your $100 that went in. Your $100 went in, you spun it one time, you won 50 cents on a dollar spent. So you actually lost 50 cents. But then you spun another dollar. 50 cents of that was what you just won, and 50 cents of what you're on. That is still the same dollar as calculated by the machine and by the company. So all the money that goes in, the coin in, the number of spins that go through the machine are what counts to how they make and calculate what they're making on these machines. So they just want spins. That's all that matters. So at the gaming cafes or the bars, checking on the apps, there's a few around here that every 10 visits you get $10. One has 10 visits, it's $20. One is, for every 25 points you get a $5 appetizer, whatever. They all have something because they want you to keep coming back and keep putting money in the machine. So when you're an advantage player, you're going to go play these places a lot. So why not sign up? Why not also take advantage of the comps that you're being given? There's zero reason to not take advantage of those things. So if you're playing and you want to take the biggest advantage, get the player's card, sign up for the rewards, and just use it. It is to your advantage to take advantage of those advantages. For example, like I said earlier, just in the last month or two, I've gotten $10 cash from one of the slot cafes just for being there 10 times. I'm 2 visits away from getting $20 cash from another place just for having been there 10 times. A couple of the places give you $5 in match play, where they put the $5 in the machine and you're supposed to play it. So if there's an advantage thing, that's when I ask for my $5, have them put it in there, and I just got $5 more towards my advantage play. And people are like, oh, but they're going to know you and see what you're doing or whatever. Over the last couple of months, I've gotten to know a couple of the people at these places. And as long as you're not like a giant idiot, you'll be fine. You know, one of the guys knows I come in there, I'm there 3 to 5 minutes, and then I leave. Sometimes 10 minutes if I find a play that's going to take a little longer, like Rich Little Hens or something. But I don't stay very long, even if I'm playing. So these guys know, and they're like, how come you're in so fast, out so fast? And most of the time I'm like, well, put $20 in, got $40 out. I don't stick around and put my money back in the machine that I've won. Or I'm on my way to work, or I'm on my way home, or my kid's got a soccer game. I just want to come by, see if there was something that I wanted to play for 5 minutes, and I got to leave. So that's pretty much what I do. And as long as you're acting like a normal person, you know, they don't care. People come in there and they have superstitions all the time. They only play when the cat is purring with a blue crystal in its eye. I don't know. But when people ask, what are you doing? Why are you checking? I always just say, listen, I like to play certain games, and I like to play them when there are certain things happening on the screen. I'm pretty superstitious like that. And nobody even asks or questions what I'm doing when I say stuff like that. And it's true. That's exactly what you're doing. You're very superstitious as a successful advantage player to what you play. They have to be in certain states, and they have to be certain games. And most people don't really understand what you're doing. And so when you explain it like that, they're like, oh yeah, that's what gamblers do. So it's super easy. I have one guy at one place that I've gotten to see a few times over the last few months, and the check-in kiosk and everything. And he's always like, hey man, you got to make sure you play before you check in. I'm like, okay, no problem. You know, because he knows that I go in there sometimes and don't play. It's like, so just, if you're playing, you can check in. If you're not, you know, don't do the check-in kiosk. Okay, no problem. One of the places for their rewards points, you got to be there for 30 minutes to get, you know, their points. I am never in a place for 30 minutes typically, unless I find like a voodoo jackpots or something. That might take some time. And so unless I find something like that, I don't even tell them to like mark my name down or anything. So you just got to be within the system. And like I said, don't be an idiot. Be a normal human being. Also, on my trip to Vegas back in February for my regular job, we had a convention there. And so I was there playing, got my Caesars card, and played mostly at Caesars properties, since that's where we were staying, and the convention center was a Caesars. And so everywhere I was walking was basically a Caesars. Just from playing on that trip, playing little plays here and there, and only playing a few times a day, like at lunch and then maybe in the evening, because I had classes and convention stuff all day long, dinners with my wife and stuff in the evenings. And so it wasn't like I was playing for hours a day. And when I went to book my hotel for next year's convention, all my nights are comped already. You have to pay taxes and fees and those kinds of things, but instead of it being a $210 per night hotel room, it's $55. It's crazy. I'm going back there, probably going to play at some casinos again, staying at Caesars. You know, saved $400 in hotel charges just for having played at these casinos. And I'm sure when I get there, there'll probably be some other things as I play through some more. maybe some free play, maybe some food certificates or whatever. Who knows? But just for having a player's card and just for playing the machines that I was pretty sure I was going to win at. So I'm pretty sure I'm winning at most of these machines, and I'm getting all these comps, which is even more winning. So you just can't go wrong with the player comps, in my opinion. Sign up for the comps, sign up for the awards, do it. It is going to make your advantage play adventure even better. All right, so let's move on to the games. In the last video, we kind of talked about Magic Treasures. It's one of my favorites. My first experience with some advantage play was on a cruise ship back in January, and they had, I don't know, 8 or 10 Magic Treasures machines on that cruise ship, and it just seemed to be the one that I flocked to most of the time. And cruise ships are great. People are constantly playing the machines, so there's constant turnover of the numbers, and they're all kind of forced to play right there. You can't really go anywhere else when you're on a cruise ship. And so it would always be something. They had tons of Buffalo machines on the cruise ship too, but people loved those machines. And so it was much more difficult to find good numbers, but also to even find a machine that was open at any time. So Magic Treasures was mostly where I played on the cruise. And the first thing when I walked onto that cruise ship, I walked into the casino when it first opened, and there was a Magic Treasures 32. And I never put another dollar of my own money into a machine on the cruise ship. I used that $50 to continue to build it up. As I played, the cruise ship gave me some free play. I used that on a higher denomination play that I was not comfortable using my own money on. Won a ton on that, and then just kept building it up. And I never ended up putting any more of my own money that I brought as part of my gambling budget for the cruise into a machine. I only kept using what they kept giving, which was more free play a few days later. And by the end of the cruise, I had an offer on our door for, hey, come on another cruise with us, please. Spend more money with us, please. And the third day, they gave us the drink package, which included any drinks I wanted in the casino. So I had to go to the casino to get drinks, but I was going there anyway. So if I wanted to have an old fashioned with dinner or something like that, I would walk to the casino. I would get my drink, check to see if there was any plays, and then walk to dinner. And then on the way from dinner to the show, walk back through the casino. Things are changing constantly. So it was a great cruise. If you want to see how all of that shook out, if you want to see how all of that worked out, let's just go with that. Go to the channel and check out that video. I think it's one of the first videos I posted was kind of my cruise adventure advantage play. So check that out. But anyway, Magic Treasures. So there's the balls that has a number. That number needs to be at least 12. Some people will say, I like to play it at 16, but at least 12. And then when that number is at, for me, 16, you put the money in. Usually I like to put in just about 100 times the bet, even though it doesn't usually take that long or that much. And you just start spinning it. Between the time you start and the time that bonus goes off, on average, over time, you will win more money than you end up putting in. Because you can calculate what that 16 on average will give back to you. You can calculate on average how many spins it takes for one of those balls to show up. You can calculate on average over watching thousands and thousands of spins when that number of balls or that canister pops, so to speak, or gives you the bonus. And so by doing all of those calculations, you can calculate when you are in an advantage, 110%, 115%, whatever. And when you have that advantage, you play it. Again, doesn't mean you're always going to win, but over time, on average, you will come out ahead. So because I won all that money on the cruise and it was my first ever kind of tiptoe into the Advantage world, Magic Treasures, even though a lot of people hate that game, um, it kind of holds a special place in my heart, so to speak, because it just was my first kind of introduction. To me, it's one of the easiest games to know when to play because it's just right there in front of your face. Um, so even on the cruise, there was another group of people kind of doing the same thing I was. So, and even with that competition on a cruise ship, um, you know, I'm sure I know I made quite a bit of money, and I'm sure they did too. So there's plenty out there to do and find and play. So have fun doing it.
All right, before we continue, shout out to all of you who are watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, it makes a huge difference when you like the video and subscribe to the channel for free. Also, to further support your Advantage adventure with more info, I have a Patreon with all the fun stuff, including added breakdowns and guides for $10 a month. I also have a lifetime membership that gives full access to all of my Patreon content and access to my exclusive webpage with extra strategy info, winning numbers, betting amounts, and bankroll info. Check it out. Link in the comments and descriptions. All right, let's get back to more winning.
The second game that I really like, and this is one I found in Vegas, is called Wheel of Fortune Wild Spin. Now, if any of you have ever played Scarab, it's very similar to that game. It's got a counter of 10 games. As you play, kind of things show up and create wilds on the screen or spots where there will be wilds on the 10th spin. And then on the 10th spin, everything turns wild. You win whatever happens. So in this particular game, you want to play it when there are already wilds kind of stacked up in the first 3 or 4 rows, preferably the first 3. Row 4 is okay. Row 5 you can pretty much ignore, but you want about 6 or 7 wilds in that first 3 rows, and then any that are in the fourth are just bonus. And if there's 6 of 10, that means you only have 4 spins left. If it's $1, you know you're going to spend $4 to try and hit whatever this is. So you have a finite number of spins before the bonus ends. You can see the screen that shows where the wilds are going to be placed and if they're in good placement. And this also comes with a little bit of experience and playing. You can tell what's good placement and what isn't after you've done this a while. But when you see that, and in those 4 spins, you could get more wilds. Or with Wheel of Fortune Wild Spin, which is one of the things I like better than Scarab, there's a wheel bonus, and it happens more often than the bonus in Scarab. So you have all of this potential and a finite bet amount, 4 spins at $1 or $5, whatever it might be, and you can tell pretty much if you're going to win or not. Sometimes you walk up on the machine and the whole freaking thing has wild things that are going to turn wild on spin 10, and it's spin 9, and you're like, what the heck? Why did someone walk away from one spin where they're going to win $125? It's like crazy to me that it happens. But again, unlike you who are watching this video, most people don't understand how any of this stuff works. So Wheel of Fortune Wild Spin, great game, easy to kind of check and find and play. There's not a ton of them around. I don't have any of them near me. I've only seen them in the casino, actually at Paris. In Las Vegas is the only place that I remember seeing it off the top of my head right now. But great game, love it. Um, if you ever find it, look for those wilds that are sitting there. Look for it to be 5 out of 10 spins. Even if there's no wilds with the 5 out of 10 spins, you could be throwing your money away, but you do have a chance of hitting that bonus. You do have a chance of wilds coming up and staying on the screen. And if it's 5 of 10 spins and your loss tolerance, let's say, is $5 and it's $1 bet, what's $5 to take the chance? That's not an advantage play per se, but it's an opportunity play. You've cut the amount of the bet. Typically, that game cycle would cost you $10 from 1 to 10. You've cut that in half, so now it's only costing you $5, and you still have some potential of winning some of that back. So there is an opportunity there more than an advantage if there's no wilds on the screen, or if there's one or two wilds on the screen at a 5 out of 10 kind of spin level. But that's where, if you like the game, maybe you play it a little more often, or if you've won some money and you want to give it a shot, maybe you play some of these opportunities more than sticking just strictly advantages. But that's got to be your game plan. I know my game plan, and I stick to it pretty closely.
Oh, a mini, $10. 2 minis. Come on, fill it up, baby. Three more, come on, 3 more. Two more. Come on, babe. Last spin, come on, fill it in. Oh, son of a bitch. That's pretty good, though. Great job, honey. $45.
The third game that is one of my favorites, and it's classic advantage play game, is Regal Riches. Not Regal Link, Regal Riches. It's got 3 diamonds, purple, green, yellow, and then the blue one. And it's way less volatile than Regal Link. Regal Link is great, but it's way more difficult to figure out the numbers. There's got to be combo plays. It's fine if you find it, but it can be a game that takes a really, really, really long time to hit a bonus, and it's way more risky up and down. Regal Rich is still a volatile game, but way easier to kind of see what you should be doing. That little blue diamond in the middle, or silver diamond, those are the ones that come most often, and they can just go off at random. If it's sitting at 8, it's probably worth playing. As the denominations get higher, again, with my loss tolerance, the denominations get higher. I like to see it at 10, more than at 8, but 8 is the number where it starts to become in your favor. Each of the other ones have different numbers. The purple one is usually about 10 away, so 65, because it has a must hit by 75. The green one, about 88 is my preferred play. Some will say 86, but 88, it has a must hit by 100. If you see both of those kind of close, it's great to play. You build one while you're hitting the other. And then the gold one is almost not worth chasing, so to speak. But if it was at 120, I probably would sit down and play just for the gold. At 115 or 110, if some of the other ones are close, it's worth playing to try and build all of them up and see where you can get with that gold. If by the end of hitting the other ones, that gold's at 120, maybe it's worth continuing. But those gold gems tend not to show up very often. Now, all that being said, in Vegas or even in regular casinos, that game is very different. You can play it at those numbers I just said. In the bar slots, or specifically in Illinois where I live, you don't get multipliers on those bonuses for whatever reason. I've played that game very many times, had 100 wilds on a green bonus, and never gotten a multiplier. So you're not going to win. The volatility isn't quite as much. You can, more know what you're going to win, but you're not going to get those big spikes. And so you have to be a little bit more careful. So at the bar slot cafe machines, I play 67, 90, and I've never really even seen a gold over 100. I've hit it a couple times while on random by going for other things, and then I play that silver one at 8 or 9. And finally, we've got Zodiac Lion. I've talked about this one a couple of times before. It's one of my favorites. It's so easy to figure out. If you've got these wild potential frames going across the screen, just the lion lands in one of those frames and it turns every frame that's connected wild. If you've got them going across the screen, about 9 of them or more, obviously, you play it and you're going to get a big win. Again, it's amazing to me that some people get up from those machines, but when you don't know how the game works, you don't know the rules, or you don't know that there's a specific advantage that you're looking at, why would you know the difference? So you're one step ahead of game just by watching this video and checking out some of these machines. Even if you don't go hunting, if you sit at a machine in your local restaurant and you see one of these games and it's got an advantage state on it, why not play it? Or if you're playing Huff and Puff and the machine next door is Wheel of Fortune Wild Spin and you notice someone get up 8 out of 10 spins and there's a bunch of frozen wilds on the screen, jump on over and play it for a couple spins. I mean, just being aware can make you, number one, be able to find stuff you wouldn't have normally found. Number two, don't walk away from stuff that other people walk away from. And number three, just be a smarter slot machine player. So those are my favorites. Go check out all the rest of my videos. And I have a playlist called Winning. I have a playlist called How to Win at Slot Machines. So check out those, subscribe to the channel, really appreciate it. And if you like this content, share it with your friends. Also, if you're interested in just how to be a smarter slot player versus how to be an advantage player, I do have a series of videos of just how to play smarter. So go check those out, subscribe to the channel. Don't miss all the videos that we have and all the videos that'll be coming up.
Thanks for watching. Keep that bankroll healthy, and I'll see you soon.